It's a lunchbox granola bar that involves no baking. That's my kind of treat. This lunchbox granola bar has all the goodness of those yummy granola bars that you buy in the grocery store that are pre-packaged, but my granola bars are even better. I'm not putting any sugar in these bad boys, but they are gonna taste just as good. Better, like I said. Let me show you what you're gonna need to get this done. First, I have some quick cooking oats. Here, I also have some crisp rice cereal. We all know and love that one. Our toppings, I have chocolate chips just because I'm obsessed with chocolate, and also coconut. I think they go perfect together. We'll talk more about that because it can be easily adjusted to your taste. Also, in this container, you can kind of see a little bit of the layers here. I have honey, I have maple syrup, and I have coconut oil. Very similar to my homemade granola recipe. I've figured out the science a little bit and learned how you can not have butter in your granola or granola bars and no sugar. These ingredients here let you have all that goodness without any of the junk. You get all that good flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and add to our liquid some vanilla extract. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this on the stove, I'm gonna bring it to a boil so all these ingredients come together. Very gentle boil just for a few minutes, and then we'll go on to the next step. This is so easy. Our mixture looks totally different than what it did at the beginning. It came to a boil. I stirred it with a whisk while it was cooking just to make sure it didn't scorch. So now that it has cooled off just slightly, you can see it's a little foamy on top, but I only let it boil for about 2 minutes just so everything could come together, and now everything is perfectly combined. And now we're gonna go on to the next step. This is the mixing process. In our bowl, we're going to add our quick cooking oats and also our crisp rice. That's one of the things they add to granola recipes a lot of the time, is they'll throw that crisp rice in there just to give a little bit of a crunch, a little bit more sweetness, and it is really, really good. Now we're gonna add in our liquid ingredients. I'm gonna put this in here, give it a stir, and then we're gonna put all this in our pan. We have everything beautifully combined. Now, this is the point when, if you have anything else that you would like to add in, this is the time that you want to do it, with the exception of chocolate chips or peanut butter chips or anything that's super melty. You want to make sure you add that at the end once you get it in the pan. At this point, you can add in your coconut here, or you can add it on top. Also, if you want to add in some raisins, maybe some cranberries or some other kind of dried fruit, just to bump up the flavor and the nutritional value, you could do that at this point as well, or you can put it on top. I'm gonna go ahead, I was gonna put those on top, but the coconut, shredded coconut, I was gonna put it on top, but I think I'm gonna throw it inside and just give this a nice stir. Now, this is enough to make 2 8x8 pans of granola bars. I have one here, and what I've done, I have parchment paper inside. You do not have to do this. If you do want to do the parchment paper, I would recommend spraying the bottom of the pan just so the parchment paper stays in place. Sometimes I don't do that just because I don't feel like it, you know, whatever. But when I do take the 60 seconds that it takes to have the parchment paper fit in the pan the right way, and I spray the bottom, I'm always happy I did it, and it's always worth it. If you don't, whatever. Do whatever floats your boat. So I'm gonna go ahead and add half of this to my pan. I'll do the other half in just a few minutes off camera, but I'm just gonna do this now to show you. And you're gonna spread this around in the pan, just like this. Remember, these are no bake, so you don't have to turn on your oven. And that's what makes these so nice. So I'm using my spatula to press this down. If you don't have a spatula that presses down or is as flexible as this one is, you can definitely just use your hands. Press it down that way. No big deal, whatever you want. But this seems to be doing just fine for me. Or you could use like a pancake turner, that type of thing, to get it all down. But you definitely want to get pressed in there well, just to make sure everything is in there nice and tight. Because like I said, these are no bake. Now, my favorite part, the chocolate. How everyone does not love chocolate the way I do. I have no idea, but this is my favorite part of this. So what you're gonna do, I'm just gonna sprinkle these right on top, and a little goes a long way. These happen to be like soy-free, gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate chips. If you don't wanna use that, you just get what you want. You can use any kind you want. You can even use like the bigger chocolate chips. I like how the mini chocolate chips work. Now, you're just gonna press these down on the top. The reason I didn't mix them in is because that mixture, our coconut oil and the maple syrup and the honey was so hot that they would just melt in there. Then you'd have chocolate granola bars, which, nothing wrong with that, right? But that's just not the recipe today. So, these are all pressed in here nice and pretty. At this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop these in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes, just so it can set up, and then we're gonna take them out, we're gonna cut them up, and they're gonna be better than any of those old packaged granola bars that you've ever tasted. You're never gonna buy them again. Well, you might. But if you do, you're gonna say, babies were better. Okay, 20 minutes, and then I'll show you what they're like when they're done. Granola bars have been in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes. If you're in a hurry and you want these to set up just a little faster, you can pop them in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes. Either way is perfectly fine. You just do need to have that step in there though, so the granola bars can kind of stick together, like I said, and set up. Let me show you what they look like. Check it out. Remember I had my parchment paper in here? Like I said, you don't have to do this step, but watch this. This is why I like to use the parchment paper. Check that out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, like my kids say. So, it's all right here. Now, we're just gonna cut. To have them perfectly uniform, well, not perfectly uniform, but uniform enough, you're gonna cut this way, down one side, and then this way. And that'll kind of be a guide for you as to where you're gonna make your next cuts. That's how I always like to do it. It just kind of helps things to be a little more even. I'm gonna go this way. And now, at this point, you can either do squares or you can do rectangles, because traditionally granola bars are served rectangle. I'm gonna go ahead and cut mine rectangle, that way it'll be more kid-friendly. My kids will be like, oh, look, just like the ones that you buy us for $1,000 a box. Of course, they're not that much, but you know, this is gonna save you money. So now, you can either go this way, maybe in threes, or if you have older kids and you want to go a little bigger because they eat more, you can certainly do that. Whatever you think. I'm going to go ahead and try to go as best I can for them to be the size of the granola bars that you buy in the store. And here they are. Isn't that cool? Not perfectly uniform, but good enough. And then check it out. Here they are. These are the chewy, whoops, that one fell apart a little bit. The first one's always the worst, isn't it? But the deliciously chewy, homemade granola bars. They're so good. You can taste the maple syrup, you can taste the honey. Now, what you're gonna do, what'll be better is if you maybe have like some kind of spatula to pick it up. I don't have that, but check this out. Now, you know those little snack size baggies? I didn't bring them, but this will fit perfectly in there. You can use a sandwich baggie if you don't have that. Look, just get some plastic wrap and wrap it up just like this. And remember, in that step where we're mixing everything together, you can throw in some walnuts if your kid's school is not a nut-free school, but check that out. You can add the dried fruit, the walnuts. I remember I put in coconut and chocolate chips. So check it out. Here's the little granola bar. You saved tons of money, and it tastes better too. And up here, it's better too because you know that it doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup, no fake colors, none of that bad stuff. So here it is. Do these for your kid's lunchbox, or forget that. Do it for yourself. It's gonna be just as good. Thanks for checking in with me today. I'll see you